So this is Baruch at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I want to remind you that one of the things that we keep working on is the Tivik Kavanos al Shara Kavanos. We have to understand that we're on a wheel. We live in a world of balls, and they're turning. Our days turn. Is that the day starts, let's say, with a light, and then eventually it starts to dim and goes into darkness, and you repeat the cycle. So part of what we're talking about is that the tefillah has to match up with the cycle. Now we're talking about over here, we're talking about the eyes. And we had made this point, I don't have my pad nearby, but we said Rachel and Leah, two sisters, are actually the wives of Zer Anpin, and they equal the height of Zer Anpin, but Leah is from the chest up above, and Rachel is from the chest going downwards. So it wants to say about the eyes, the reason for the closing of the eyes. So the reason for the closing of eyes has to do with the fact that Rachel, who is really the Karis of Bayis, she's really the representative of Malchus. She carries the ball in the end. This is that she doesn't add up to the, doesn't measure up to the level of the eyes of Zer Anpin, whereas Leah does. So the Torah says that Leah's eyes are weak, but they're only weak in relationship to Zer Anpin because all the eyes from Leah are given to her from Zer Anpin, and let's understand what we're talking about. It says that all of the shefa that comes from up above into Zer Anpin is for the purpose of building the nook. And so therefore his eyes can make a big impression on what is opposite, which in this case is Leah, because Leah is from the chest going upwards, and Rachel, his normal place, is split down below from the chest going downwards. So therefore she's not near the eyes. But Leah benefits from it. Now let's come over here and let's see what the Rav himself has to say. And what I've been saying previously, I'm sorry, is this is a book called The Sefer Tivik Kavanos al Shara Kavanos, and it's written on the Shara Kavanos, and the author brings us the Shara Kavanos, and then he explains it again to us, trying to make it more digestible. This is deep sewed, a lot of this. So we need to understand the cycles and what's going on, and we're on page Kaf Ches. We're starting here the 20th shir. So it's V'harin is B'tam Segivus Anayim. So now we've explained the reason why the eyes need to be closed. The L'kach on the Sogram as Anayim B'tefillah. This is the reason why we cover the eyes of the tefillah. I'm sorry, I was going to read just the top. Let me try it again. V'harin is B'tam Segivus Anayim. So we're going to explain the reason why we close the eyes. Amnam tam hatztarchos sigirasim, the reason why we have to close the eyes, but the tefillas arvis, particularly in the prayer at the nighttime prayer, mitachida v'ratso, from the beginning until the end, l'lefi sha'atoch b'sod zaman laila, because now it's the secret of the time of nighttime. Shul zaman achayshech, which is darkness. You can't see anyway. V'am the b'yom, that is in the daytime. Now let's understand this, what the Rav is saying. She got eyes. During the daytime, Rachel can see. She gets eyes from the sun, which is up above her, shines downwards. But when you come to the nighttime, which is the time of dark, of light time, become dark, the eyes of Rachel. And now you can understand a lot of different things that are said in the Zohar, that are spoken about in regards to the nighttime. How it is, this is a quote, how it is that the darkness covers over the land at nighttime. So B'tavin Malhu Inya the so try to understand what are the symbols of these different words that we're using. Malku ha'inyan ha'choshesh, so what's this darkness all about? V'gam lamachu b'laylo b'lo b'yom, and then why are we talking about nighttime? That's the time you have to close your eyes. Why not daytime? Let's come over here and let's read the Tiv. Now I'm going to be right down here. I'm going to put my finger on it, my pencil on it, the l'kach on the sogrim as a nine. So therefore we close our eyes, b'tefillah. L'haros b'zeh, and what we're trying to do with this idea is b'zeh, al tikun v'yichud shel Rachel. It's the building of Rachel, the making her a functional partzuf. The lis laba b'chilis anayim. She is the partzuf that has no eyes. Amnam tam it's starkos to giralsam. So the reason why you need to close those eyes, but tefilas arvis, but mitachida v'chatsof, and he had said that at nighttime. Well, let's just contrast it. During the daytime, you really only need to close your eyes during the Shemona Esrei, but here he says even at the Shema, and before that, you have to close your eyes. The Fisha Atacha B'Chuvsod Zman Laila, because now it's the secret of nighttime. Shuchul Zman HaChoshech, which is the time of darkness. And he said, V'amdam B'yom Koya Nimshach in the Rachel Einayim Alamala. During the daytime, she got illumination that brought out eyes in Rachel. Remember, everything has to go from Zer Anpin. All the shefa that makes his eyes ultimately wind up inside of the nook of Arvis. But now, what happens at nighttime? Shulzaman Lila, which is a type of the darkness, and Nech Shachim Ein Rachel, the eyes of Rachel become black or dark. Now here's the Tiv re-explaining this. So he says that what we need to have here to close up the eyes, but tefilas Ma'ariv, in the time of Ma'ariv, mitachidas of tefillah from the beginning of the prayer, but tefilas Shachris, rak but tefilas Amida. So in Shachris, you only have to do it when you're saying Shemona Esrei. Hu mishum sheba'arbis ein l'rachel b'chinas anayim klal, because even though that she has some kind of eyes during the daytime which come from her from up above, during the nighttime she doesn't have it at all. Shebiyom meir or hanayim is Zer Anpin, because during the daytime the light of the eyes that are coming from Zer Anpin shines onto Rachel shechomedes ma'achrav, who she is behind him. But at nighttime, ein mir or hanayim klal, then there's no light coming from Zer Anpin at all. And that's the reason why the stalkus, the leaving of the light, causes darkness. And then therefore the mochin no longer shy, you have to close the eyes. But call it tefillah every time you daven. Or a naim cloud, to give us a hint of the fact that now there are no eyes at all. The cave in Shekain, and since that's the case, she'ain mochin ve'ain or anayim yeshes gavras adinim, and since there's no mochin, there's no anayim, then you have the dinim are becoming stronger and stronger. Ma'ay she'ain came b'shachris, which is not the case by the morning. And even though we say that at that time the Yachol, let's say the Yichud is taking place in Rachel, Sheba'atzma ein lo or enayim klal, that she herself has no eyes. She has no light in her eyes. She's not able to see. But in any case, even though she doesn't have it, Meir Alecha Oz Melamala, she has an illumination or a glow that shines on her from up above, the Or Anayim de Zer Anpin. So it's as if she had eyes. Let's learn a little bit more. Now they can understand a lot of things that are stated in the Zohar. She'omrim Indian the Lila, that talk about nighttime. How it is that the darkness covers over the land at night. Now I know before reading this that Eretz is a lashon of Malchus. Let's see what he says. So let's try to understand what we're talking about when we get to this darkness. So then why is it that we have this? I'm not sure what we have at nighttime and not in daytime. He said because the whole idea of darkness, Hanisker al-Laila, which is mentioned in regards to the nighttime, who kaven she'ein meir oz or ha'inayim al Rachel bisman al-Laila, it's because there's no light coming to Rachel at the time of the night. V'gam lo nimshach oz or ha'inayim al Rachel klal. As a matter of fact, there's no eye light coming to glow and radiate onto Malchus, that is Rachel, at all. So therefore we say that the darkness covers over the land. And this darkness is only at nighttime. So what are we trying to say? That the dinim are much worse at this time. Because in the daytime she has some aspect of eyes, because she's being shone on by the sun, who is Zer Anpin. And at that time there is light in the eyes of Zer Anpin. And he shines alecha melamala, on her from up above. And that's the shir today. This is shir number 20 on this changes in tefillah. This is Baruch Fleischman.